Hey, it's Scotch Test Dummies. I'm Scott.
Woo, Bart here.
We're mid-conversation, but we're going to review this pepper single barrel rye.
Work it. Rye. Love me some rye because we're going to test it. Is it pepper dill style?
James E. Pepper style.
Woo, that's the name.
So this is a single barrel store pick. So again, keep these in mind if you see them. I sampled this in the store. It was good enough that I bought one.
Good enough. I like that it's got green on it. I like when the rye has little green hints that yell at you, rye. What are you looking at? You looking at the other ryes I got
Well,
up there?
somewhere we did
Those are my ryes.
If you remember the 1776
yes,
cask
right
strength or barrel proof. Yep, there it is. That's James Pepper.
Got it. I know. I like those. I got one over there. Yes, that one's.
This one we did a long time ago. This is like a 2-year-old barrel proof rye.
It was like a spoiled kid that punches you in the face.
If you want to know what rye is, this is the bottle.
Yes,
it is fiery.
Yes, and
spicy.
What I like about rye, I actually warmed up to rye before I warmed up to bourbon, and it's because that strong pepper punch forwardness.
It's got a different profile.
It does.
So yeah, I mean, if you're looking for something different,
rye.
Or
Zima called that.
Now, we've done a few ryes lately. We hadn't done any for a while.
Yeah, I even steered away. I never hit my rye part of my shelf for like a year.
Yeah. So this one is cask. Cask 1178. Proof is 110, so 55% ABV. Aged 5 years. Nice color to it. Old Pepper Distillery, Lexington, Kentucky. Straight rye whiskey, single barrel.
Yeah. Now I got a touch of dill in here. It's not a strong dill. It's a touch of dill. A touch of dill with almost like a touch of turpentine too. I mean, in
that's a nose
sweet way. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a nose that jumps out there and gets you.
Yeah.
For 55%.
Dill.
Sweet
turpentine.
Sweet pickle.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's sweet dill. It's like a sweet pickle.
Well,
That's got that different tangy
They do say dill
sweetness.
pickle. Oh. Now, the dill, some people love, some people don't. Some people don't care either way. The dill will come when you have a little bit, and some people love the taste. It's a little bit of like some kind of extra little bacteria in the mash is what I understand. And from that, it became sought after by many, many people.
Cinnamon and spices.
Yeah.
Not just cinnamon, but some of those other baking kitchen spices are in there with it. Sweetness. Tartness. I can feel my taste buds kind of salivating, like preempting, like they know what's coming.
Yeah, although
just from the smell.
I don't get dill on the flavor. I get a some cinnamon, good barrel note. A caramel, toffee, and a nice even caramel finish, which is interesting. I'm not getting any pepper in there. I expected a little bit of pepper. I don't know if it's because of the namesake.
Yeah.
But ryes, usually there'll be some white pepper, black pepper flavors sometimes in a rye.
Yeah, I'm not getting any of that yet. Your normal baking spices, a lot of cinnamon in here, nutmeg, some citrus. Sometimes I'll get an orange or an orange peel.
Like an orange rind. Yeah.
Is that what you're getting?
Mm-hmm. And that is a little different.
Caramels.
Yeah, definitely. All over it.
Rich caramels.
Yeah.
Milk chocolate type caramels. And I even Matt poured this for me in the store the other day. And I said, blind, I don't know if I'd think this was a rye.
I would agree. That was my one thing. I kept thinking tastes a lot more like a bourbon.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
There's a lot more of the bourbon notes here.
And that's what got my interest. I kept thinking, where's the pepper here? Where's some of those? You'll get dill flavors as well. When I got the dill nose, I thought I'd get a dill flavor. That's interesting.
I agree it was on the nose, but there's a nice, really, there's a nice 8 to 10-year-old bourbon feeling
Well,
palate to this. I don't, but I do. Yes.
Sorry.
No, I mean, yeah,
Yeah, it doesn't need it. I agree.
yeah, I like it neat, 55%.
Yeah, I do too. It's
Great palate.
Yeah.
It feels like an 8 to 10-year-old bourbon. And originally Matt told me he thought these were 8 years old, and I was like, well, that's kind of surprising. I said most of these are like 4 to 6 years old, but then he sees on the label it's 5, so I was like, okay, it is in that same range that you normally see with some of these. I do see on the back it says distilled in Kentucky and Indiana.
Oh.
So a little bit of a blend here with Kentucky juice and
the
MGP
coming out of Indiana.
So it does not say.
I love their 95.5.
It does not say Kentucky straight rye. It's just straight rye whiskey.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good. So I like that that's on there. I hadn't looked that far.
I hadn't either.
What MGP does in Indiana with both bourbon and rye, and it seems like almost anything they touch, their huge facility is beautifulness. And I get that here. The big surprise was I kept getting bourbon flavor notes, though. Caramels and richness. And
yeah.
And I was surprised because I'm with you. I thought a lot of times what I look for, just me look for in a rye, is I love those pepper punches.
Yeah. And there's not so much here.
There isn't.
Now, how about a mintiness? I would say a kind of a clove, minty, forestry, evergreen, maybe.
A little pine flavor, maybe, or pine.
Yeah. Just got it on the nose, too.
Yeah.
After getting it on the palate with the water.
I kind of get it in the finish. A little bit of that, like a pine forest.
Almost reminds me of the, I think it was the Old Forester rye that we did.
Okay.
But
you're good on that. I can never harken back to what it was close to.
You do sometimes.
Okay, maybe. Yeah, I know, but you're so good on it.
Like I say, this one surprised me.
It's a nice
I would not have bought this if I hadn't sampled it first. It was one of those. It was like the Whistle Peak 10 store pick sample. I was like, okay, that's definitely because you get a lot of store picks, and there's a lot of them out there. Everybody has store picks now, and which one you really got a parcel picking those up. So this isn't this. I know a lot of you aren't going to be able to go to Auburn and get this one.
Be like you.
The point of the story is if you see one of these single barrel James Pepper ryes, it's probably worth picking up.
Right. Ask for a sample. A lot of times that's something you can do with your liquor stores as well. They will, especially if they know you come in and you buy whiskeys, a lot of times you can say, you got anything in where I can get a little sample. Now, I don't know what your state laws are. Our state laws allow them to pour little samples, not of everything on the shelf, but on occasion.
Which only started a couple years ago.
That is true. They didn't used to be able to do that in Kansas. Yeah. And it was nice when they could. Single barrel select, straight rye whiskey. And as most of you know, anything that's got some MGP in it, they're good. Boy, are they good. I like that it's there, though.
I would throw a caveat. It can be.
I like what they do.
MGP is doing some good stuff.
I like what they do. They're able to... they even barrel up a lot of stuff. They got a lot of barreled whiskey.
88.
Interesting.
My stomach
I know. I heard your stomach. I don't know if they can.
Through.
Maybe it is. Our boom mic is good. You know what? I'm going to... I was right at kind of 87, 88. I'm going to do 87 just because the only thing on this that was and it's... I probably shouldn't, but I like a little bit more of the rye to come through. If I've got a rye, when I pick up a bottle of rye, I want I'm looking for some dill, I'm looking for some pepper. This leans more toward a bourbon, but if you're a bourbon drinker, I think this would be a rye or their barrel select store picks. If you see one, ask for a sample because I think you'll dig it. It's got a little bit of that ryeness in it, but a lot of caramel bourbon notes. So I like it, 87.
I would say I don't drink a lot of ryes. I really don't. The rye profile doesn't usually appeal to me. When I find a rye, though, that has swung the other way, that is more bourbonish, I like those better, I think. Or I like the older ryes where the cask influence has really turned them more bourbonish and gotten rid of a lot of those youthful, spicy, dill pickle, rye notes.
So you're rye resistant.
Good rye.
I was trying to think of some stuff.
Rye.
I had a couple thoughts that came in. I thought, no, I can't use that. But rye resistant.
All right, I'll go with that for now.
Okay. I'm rye resilient, maybe.
I like these ryes like this that kind of swing that other way.
Got it. I like when they swing pepper, baby.
I guess the only argument to that is then buy a bourbon, don't buy a rye.
I would agree on that. Because a lot of times it's kind of like how if there's a blizzard outside and I'm pouring a scotch, you know what it is. It's going to be a peat. I like peppered ryes. I like to throw a cube in it and just sip on it. And that's when I kind of lean toward ryes, is actually in the colder months as well. I don't know. They're very punchy though.
What do you think this one cost?
Okay. Store picks come in at pretty good prices. MGP being involved informs me a little bit more. So I'm going to guess that they probably got a pretty good deal because they could put out a lot of this. I'm going to say $30.
Yeah, you're a little low. 40. I think they're 44.
Okay. All right. Ryes usually come in a little bit cheaper. Ryes don't sell as well as bourbons in general. You'll sometimes get some great deals on a rye. And a lot of times, although you did say this is what, an 8-year?
No, 5.
5, sorry. Ryes are usually younger,
it's
and
5.
They're so punchy. 5 years. They're so punchy that you get deals on rye. Maybe I'm cheap, and that's why I like rye. Some people say, I love my peat Scotch whiskey because, to me, 10 years, it's forward. When peat whiskey gets older, I don't like it as much, so I'm a cheap date.
He is.
I like young ryes and young peats, baby.
I would agree with that.
Yes, keep them young, flavorful, punchy, and affordable.
Go to ScotchTestDummies.com. You can pick up some of our merchandise, our coins, our hats, our shirts, our glasses. Help support the show.
If you like what we do, I enjoy the banter and the taste of the whiskey. But if you enjoy that, if you can go to Patreon, we use Patreon funds to keep the lights on, to get equipment, to buy bottles that we can taste. We will let you know, like we bought this one. And we always give an honest opinion, whether a fan sent it, a distiller sent it, or 80%, 90% of the bottles we purchase ourselves.
I would say I do like this. Is almost kind of a standardized bottle a lot of people are going with nowadays, and I like this bottle profile.
Really? To me, it's too tall.
Yeah.
I've got a little shelf I use upstairs that does not accept tall bottles. And
But you're tall.
I am, but the
So
shelf I have
prejudiced.
doesn't. Yeah.
A
Yeah, I
tall
want a
person
short-
is prejudiced against the
A
tall
lot of the
bottles.
women I dated
6'6".
and the one I married, 5'2". Yeah. I dated a girl that was 6'4" once. We were both too big. Neither of us liked it. We were both in each other's face all the time. I was like, whoa, I'd turn around and be like, you're right up on me. What are you doing? I thought I would like it.
That's
I
the way
thought,
most people operate.
I know. I thought I would like it. It was like a Seinfeld episode where I would turn around and I felt like she was right. I'd be like, hey,
Close talker.
step off.
She's a close
Back
talker.
off. Yeah, and she was just tall like me. People would joke, you two should get married and have babies. They'd all get volleyball and basketball scholarships. And I was like, yeah, that's funny. And then, it was like she was on me all the time. I didn't like it.
So I have all of Seinfeld on DVD or Blu-ray.
Yeah,
Probably
me too.
DVDs.
I've got
DVDs.
DVD. I've got that box set.
But I haven't watched them in years.
They
I used
were-
to watch it all the time.
Yeah, they're on Netflix.
It's on
Liz
Netflix.
and I,
I've
yeah,
been
we would
watching.
watch them every once in a while.
I'm just up to like episode 7 or 8.
Oh,
season
they get
1.
real good
But,
about 3.
Yeah.
Episode 3, they really
Yeah,
do.
yeah, you can tell that
Yeah,
they start to
they hit
meld.
their stride.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Now, that's the tall coupling is where I felt that because I thought this is going to be perfect. She was even like, "Hey, you're like the first guy I've ever dated that I haven't looked down at," and I can wear high-heeled shoes around you, I'm like, "Yeah, that's right, Because I'd had a girl before. Whenever I was going to go to work, she'd jump up on the couch to give me a kiss, just so we had like a normal kind of go-away kiss. And for both of us, we dated for a couple months, and then we were both like, she's like, I don't like it. I'm like, I know, and I feel like you're in my face.
It probably wasn't because of your height.
Could have been.
It's because
My face?
the other.
What are you saying?
Here.
My mouth? Shh. What are you doing? Scotch it.
Or yeah.
Scotch it. You Scotch God.
Cilantro.
Dummies. Who knows?